The next seam we're going to do, we're going to join another piece to this. We're going to do something called the French seam. French seams are really good for delicate fabrics that you can't have a messy side or a clean side because it'll show through. What the French seam does is it traps the fabric, the messy end of the fabric, in the nice one. So this seam is interesting because you actually start it by sewing the two wrong sides of the fabric together, and it looks like you're putting the messy part on the outside. So for this, what we do is we take our ruler and measure. You want to measure a 1/2 of an inch in. And I'm just going to do it on one. I'm just going to do the marking on one this time, so that way you can see how it works with just one. And I'm just going to pin them together, same as last time. But notice how you can see the nice side of the seam over here? Let's just adjust this a tiny bit. You notice how you see the nice side over here? And the not nice side over here? This is the right side of the fabric. This seam goes on the outside of the fabric at first. So I'm just going to stick 3 pins in over here. So 1 and 2 and 3, and thank you, pin box, for closing so perfectly timed. And then you grab your machine. So first step, same as the last one. I'm going to raise the seam size a tiny bit. You just stitch down that line. So you have this. And then what you do is kind of crazy. You take your scissors and you cut the majority of your seam allowance over here off. I'm trimming it so that way there's about 3/8 of an inch left. So then once you have this, next step, doesn't that look ugly? This is one of the ugliest seams while you're working on it, but when it's done, it's quite nice, especially on nice fabric. And you want to press your seam allowance, what's left of it, to one side. And you want to make sure you're pulling this while you're doing it, so that way it stays even. And then you take it and you fold it. It's a 2-hand job. And you take it like this, you fold it on the seam and press that closed. So that way it's nice. Just like that. And now that's done with the iron for now. Put that aside. And get your sewing machine back. And you know how we trimmed it to the about 3/8 of an inch? What we're going to do now, where'd my pencil go? Did I lose my pencil? I lost my pencil, guys. Oh no, this is sad. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to use a pen so I don't have to get up and go find another pencil. We're going to draw in a 1/2 of an inch. Since our first one was at a 1/2 an inch, we're going to do our second one at a 1/2 an inch also to get that full 1 inch seam allowance. You're going to draw that new line in. Hopefully yours comes out nicer than mine because you're using a pencil, not a pen. And again, you're just going to stitch down that line. And see here, this is the inside now, right? And here's the outside. Here's that outside. Remember how ugly that looked before and how nice it is now? It's just flat, perfect. And then the last step is, you guessed it, pressing it to the side. And then that's done. So then you take your scissors, you trim off the extra thread, trim, I'm going to trim that, and label it as your French seam. And that one's done. That was number 1. This was number 2.